Hi everybody, my name is Debbie Farinella and I'm on the creative design team at Sizzix. And I'm here at Scrapbook.com to show you some new innovative cards that are ready for you to make some interactive corresponding cards for you to create using our coordinated papers and different techniques that you can do, whether you're making a card, decorating a bag, or adding one of our little fold-alongs to the front of a bag for a cute little party favor. All of these are coordinated together, and I'll show you how you can create each one. We have this adorable card in a box die set. It comes with the lattice, the leaves, and all the flowers. You have the option of doing multiple projects with this. This one's on a card. Here we have it in home decor on a wood block. Look how cute that is. Look great in any room. And this is the one we have that it was designed for. It creates this little box with the multiple layers. You die cut all the flowers, you cut the lattice, and right on the score lines that cut and score exactly where they need to be, flattens out easily and slides perfectly in one of our Sizzix envelopes. Ready to mail and ready for somebody to adore as soon as they receive it. So let me go ahead and show you how to make it. So for this particular die set, I need to use the precision base plate because if you notice with all the little ornate pieces that are going to cut out, I want to make sure it cuts precisely and cleanly. So on the precision base plate, we have all the instructions and shows you step by step in multiple languages how you need to lay it on top of the platform. So first on tab 2, and then with the chrome side up, you're going to put the precision base plate and then your paper with the blade side down. This is one in particular way that you have to cut it blade side down on precision base plate because of all the pressure. You want to make sure it cuts every single piece. And then one standard cutting pad on top. Now since this is so heavy and thick, this acts as a cutting pad. So you'll notice that if you try to build on top of your precision base plate with the die and the paper and another cutting pad, if you put additional cutting pad because you forgot that this one is a cutting pad, it won't go through. So this is going to be on the base right on top of tab number 2. So I'm going to go ahead, lay my cardstock down, blade side down, and then put this little lattice part in the area that I know it's supposed to fit in. Tilt it so it's going to be entering against the rollers at an angle. And I'm going to go ahead and run it through. Now it's scored it, cut it, and now I have all these pieces. Now if I wanted to save these, I could use it for some type of confetti. But with my die brush, I can run it through it. Since I know they're going to fall out easily, I don't need my die pick, and I don't need to do it against the brush, against the foam. So that's ready to go. I'm going to do one more, but I only want the lattice on one side, so I'm going to take my precision base plate out. Put a basic cutting pad down. And then one more piece and one more pass with this die. And it fits perfectly on there. And this is our cutting pad that is made exclusively for Scrapbook.com, the ocean blue glitter. How fabulous is that? I'm going to go ahead and run that through like this. Now I've got my other, so like a box has 4 sides, got my other side. So I'm going to fold it right there on the score lines here. And there's one more here. You'll see the smaller one here on the side, and that's your little tab where you're going to adhere it to your other side of the box. So I'm going to fold it down there. And fold this one in again because this is the part that's going to pinch and slide into your envelope. And one more piece here. I'm going to do the same idea. Fold it on the score line. And again, one more time. And then the tab also right on this one. Next, I'm going to adhere the backing so it has like a basket effect behind the lattice part. Okay, with my Sizzix tape runner, I'm going to take the adhesive and run it just at the edge. And then hide it right behind the lattice. And it fits perfectly. Another technique I could have done is run the lattice, just this die, over the brown and lay it on top. The effects are the same, but a little bit different. So next part I'm going to do is I'm going to take my adhesive and run it just on that little tab right there. I'm going to take the other end, the straight end, not the end that has the tab, but the straight end, and I'm going to lay it down right against the score line of the next tab. So one tab is against the straight edge of the other tab. And here's the other tab. I'm going to lay a piece of adhesive down there. And they match up perfectly. Score line right against the edge where the lattice is. So you've created this little box here like this. So if you can see where the flowers are growing from, those bring the flowers out of the box a little bit longer, a little bit taller. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these strips, and they are scored and cut perfectly to fit inside of your card in the box. So you don't need a precision base plate for this because it's only a simple framelit. If it was more detailed, you would. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this die down, the blade against the good side of the paper, just at a slight angle so it feeds it through quicker and smoother. And depends on how many layers of flowers you want. You can do multiple. So I'm just going to do 2. So there we've got this one and this one. So what I'm going to do next is fold it on the score lines. Okay, so these are perfectly folded, matching up perfectly inside. They're going to go inside of the box. So on the folded areas, I'm going to go ahead and lay an adhesive strip on each tab. I'm going to position it inside where I want the first layer of flowers to be. And when I go ahead and fold it, it's going to match up perfectly on the opposite side. Make sure that one's down correctly and evenly. So you can see it lays perfectly straight in there. I'm going to do the second one, same way. I want this one to be right about here. So I'm going to lay that one there, make sure it's lined up against the edge. And once the last side is in, I'm going to lay that one down, press it down to make sure it matches up perfectly. And there you have your 2 layers to start planting your garden. So I've gone ahead and added a few leaves in my garden here. Add a couple more. Now I'm going to make sure the flowers start blooming. So some of the flowers I've already prepared. They're from either our spring things or our flower in the basket, which is this card in a box. And then I'm going to go ahead and add them to the garden. In your die set, you'll see this long rectangle piece. You can go ahead and cut that. It just comes out just a straight little rectangle with a rounded edge. And those are the stems for your flowers. Put a little adhesive on each side of the flower. Plant it wherever you think it should go. And keep going all the way around to add more flowers where your garden is full for you to walk through and enjoy. We have a little handle here that's part of the die set, whether you'd want to use it or not. You can run it through and cut it and have a little handle here, or you can just do it like this where we didn't use a handle. We just made a lot more flowers coming out of the basket. So remember, as soon as your flower is planted and the card is ready to send, crease it on the fold and slide it right into the envelope, and it's ready to mail. And they will absolutely adore it. So for our fold-along cards, we have this cute retro camera card. How cute is that? It has a little interactive technique that I'm going to show you how to do. It fits perfectly a little invitation, a birthday message, or a perfectly sized Instax camera. You have all the little pieces ready to create this darling card. Whether you're doing it out of paper or if you'd like to use it with felt, it cuts perfectly. It's a Thinlit, and believe it or not, it cuts perfectly through our felt pieces. So whether it's flat like this or an interactive card or this way, it's a beautiful way to send somebody a sentiment. So who would have thought that this simple little piece here would create something as fabulous as this? So I'm going to show you a quick way on how to make that happen. You're going to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and you're going to fold it down the middle. Now for the folding technique on this, you just need to have it folded once, and you'll notice there are no blades here. The blades are all the way around and the score lines are here. This creates the area that will make it be a foldable technique here. So I'm going to make sure that my blade is partially hanging over. Actually, that's not the blade, but I'm going to make sure this part of the die is partially hanging over. And it will cut through 2 pieces of cardstock. On top of platform and on top of tab number 2, with that area partially hanging off, you're going to go ahead and run it through. The reason it's that way is because you're saving your fold. So when you run it through the machine like this, it's cutting through both pieces of cardstock and you're saving the fold on the other end. And this little piece here creates the tab area where you're going to tuck the invitation or the wording. So how great is that? So now let me show you how to fold it. You're going to fold it this way. If you can't see the score lines very well, don't worry. All you need to do is match it up exactly with the area in front of it. And it folds back and matches perfectly on this side. And you repeat it on this side. And fold it back one more time. You see the score lines right there, and that helps you be able to see where it's supposed to go. It matches up at the top and perfectly at the bottom. So there you have it, ready to start going. So I'm getting ready to create the circles here, but since they're split down the middle to be able to open up, we gave you the half circle. So you're going to have to cut each one twice to create a full circle. So I have the larger one over my light blue paper. I have the middle one over that color, and I'm going to do the smaller one over another piece of light blue paper. Actually, it'll fit right on there, so I'm good to go. Another cutting pad on the top. Run it through. And here you have the half circles. I've already gone ahead and cut the other pieces, so I'll be ready to assemble it. First, I'm going to take the larger one. And I'm going to adhere it down to the center. And I've got the second one that I'd already cut. I'm going to match it up against this circle, make sure it matches up. There we go. And that one's good to go. I'm going to take the next size, center that one. And then lastly, the light blue smaller one. And that'll go right down the center as well. Now, when you get to the heart, same idea, run it through the machine, but I'm going to cut it down the center because the heart, if I want it to close and have it not seal completely, I can cut it down the middle and adhere left and right. But if I only want one side to be adhered down, I'm going to just tear off a part of the adhesive. So only one side will stick and the other side will be open so the card can open. That way it looks closed, but actually it won't stick to that side. Next, I'm going to show you how to cut the pieces that embellish the actual camera pieces. So to create these embellishments on the camera, I've laid down our cardstock on our Sizzix adhesive sheets, ready to go with the blade on top and blade facing down. Go ahead and run it through. The crackling is normal. So with these pieces already having an adhesive on the back, they're stickers and ready to go. So the yellow one, which is the area in front, it's cut in the middle. So I kind of folded it in half to give myself its own score line. And then I cut it. That way it'll be ready to adhere down on the right and on the left. So I'm going to take the adhesive backing off. So on the right side, I'm going to put it down here, straight edge against the center opening part. There you have it. How cute is that? You can go ahead and add an Instax photo which fit perfectly in here, underneath the tabs that were cut when you went through the first pass. Now, who wouldn't love to receive a photo like this? Most of you are familiar with our 2D embossing folders, but did you ever think that we would have something that would cut and emboss at the same time in one swoop? You run it through the machine and it cuts and embosses. So I'm going to show you how to create this wedding window project. Something similar to this can be created this way, where the windows open out, or this way where the windows are closed in. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is how our embossing folders used to look, but with the Impresslet, it impresses it and it cuts it. So you're going to have to, even though you're cutting it, you want to do it on the embossing side. So you're going to close it back up. You're going to take this and open it back up. So what you're going to do next is you're going to build it on this platform. Cutting pad on the bottom. I'm going to take my cardstock, lay it on the inside. You don't want to put it too far in right against the binding, because when it runs through the machine, it might crease your edge. And if your paper is cut perfectly to fit something, you want to make sure that it's down just a little bit below your score line of your fold. You're going to run it through the machine. Cutting pad on top. And look how beautiful that is. The pieces fall out easily. And it's ready to move on to the next step. Next, I'm going to cut a piece of paper the same size as the part I just cut out, but I have a score line that's about 2 inches in and in on the left and on the right. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it here on my score line. And again here on this side. So what you'll want to do next is take your scissor and cut here and here to create the 2 pieces that'll lay on top of the left and the right panel. And with a tape runner, I'm using our Sizzix tape runner, I'm going to lay a strip down on the right, the bottom, and the left, and repeat it again on this side. This way you can lay it right on top of your folded paper that you're ready to go and embellish. Lay it right there, straight edge against the straight edge, and the left side the same. The windows open up perfectly. It'll be a beautiful wedding invitation or shower invitation for an upcoming event at a church. Anything you have that has a religious value to it, it'll be a beautiful little card to do. Next, I'm going to add a little inking to the embossed part just to bring it out a little bit and show a little dimension. So with our Sizzix blending tool and a little distress ink, I'm going to lightly embellish the edges here with a little dimensional ink. So it brings out the color and shows a bigger contrast versus it just being the cream on cream. You don't want to be too heavy-handed because you might get too much on the area where there are actually no little bricks. I've added a little of our adhesive sheets on the back of some chrome mylar paper, and I'm going to lay it just on the area over the window because I want to add a little bit of color and sparkle to the window in front of my card. So I'm going to put it in the machine. I don't want to do the embossing part because that's not the part I'm concerned about now. I just want to do the window. So I'm going to go ahead and open it to tab number 1. A lot of people think they have to close it on top and run it through, but you'll realize that won't work. So keep it open, tab number 1, run it through the machine. And I have this mylar piece that's ready to go. Look at the detail. So after cutting it off of here, I have another one already prepared, and I have the little adhesive backing ready to peel off and add to the church window here. It lines up perfectly because it was all cut from the same die. And just adding that extra shimmer and metallic paper to your project, it creates a beautiful card. You can practically already hear the angels singing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please share, like, subscribe, and leave a message. Happiness is life handmade.